Hello everyone, I'm Naresh Charasia and I'm here to talk about Core Java. You can find me at messagefornaresh@gmail.com. So let us get started with classes and objects in Java. Now this is a very important part of object-oriented programming in Java. So in order to understand classes and objects, let us look at what is a structure of the class. We shall look at what goes in a source file. Then we will see that we can put a class in source file. Then we will see we can put a method in a class. And then we will see we can put a statement in a method. So let us understand all this, or rather structure of a class, with an example in Eclipse. So I have this package in front of you here in Connect to Tech Java Oops classes. Here I will go ahead and create a file. I'll say right click, new, and I'll click here on the class option and I'll call it my class and I'll say finish. Now to begin with, let me go ahead and actually delete this here, right? Don't worry about the package for the time being, ignore this. I'm going to talk about concept of packages in a different discussion. So for now, ignore this. Now, if you will see, this is a file which is my class.java. This is similar to a source file, or this is a source file. Now this source file can have a class file. So I'll again say Control Z and I will have my class here within the source file. So my class.java, which is a source file, has a class by the name my class. Now in a source file, you can have more than one classes. So let me explain that to you. So let's say if this is a source file here, inside that you can have one class and you can have one more class, right? So if this my class.java here I have, so if this is my class.java, inside that I have a class, as you can see, and the class is my class here, my class, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more class. So let me go ahead and create one more class. I'll call it class my house. As you can see, now this file, which is my class.java, has class 1 and class 2. So this I'm going to call as my house. Now like this, you can have as many classes as you want, but there is a restriction here that you can have only one public class, as you can see, and the name of this public class should be same as the name of the file, which is my class.java. So therefore here I can have my class as a public class. Now if you will see that I remove this from here and try to make another class as public class, it will give me a compile time error. And as you will hover your mouse on this, it says the public type my house must be defined in its own file, right? So that means if you have a public class in a file, then the name of that class and the name of the file should be same. Now, as you can see here in the diagram, a class can have methods. It can have one method or multiple methods. So let me go ahead and create a method within this public class. So I'll say public static void main, open bracket, close bracket. And here I'll say, so this is a method I have created in a class. Now you can have multiple methods. I can say void method 2 open bracket close bracket, and inside this, for the time being, I don't have anything, but as you can see that within a class I have method 1 as well as method 2, and like this you can have multiple methods within a single class. Now within a method you can have statements. You can have one statement or more than one statement. So for the time being I'm saying int a equal to 10. This is one single statement, and then I'm saying system.out dot println. Here I'm displaying the value of a. So if I run this program, we all know that the output of this program is going to be 10. So let me run this, right click, run as Java application. So we get an output of value 10. So as you can see that a class has multiple methods and method can have multiple statements. So now that we know the structure of a class, let us now understand what is a class. So I will go to my next slide here. Now class is a template. What does it mean? Let me explain this to you with an example. When we construct a house, we create a plan, right? And we call this as blueprint of the house. Now the house is built based upon this plan or the blueprint that you have. Now what is the reason of creating a blueprint? The reason is that blueprint is an outline or a sketch. So it is easy for you to make changes in the blueprint initially rather than constructing the house and then making changes. So before we begin to construct the house, we create a blueprint, right? So class is similar to this. Classes are like plans or template to build a house. So as you can see here in the example, I had created this class here, which is my house, or another class, my class. Now I will try to explain the concept with my house. Now this is a outline or a template or a blueprint. What does it mean? It means that it is an outline or a structure. It is a logical entity and it does not physically exist in the memory. So I will explain this memory part later on, but for now, let us understand this as an outline or a structure. So for that, let's say my house has a few attributes which I'm going to call that it has int area. So this is the area of my house, right? And I'll say that it has also some color, that is the color of the house. After that, I will say that there are some methods or operations that can be performed in a house. One of them is void clean house, and another could be void open door. So when I create a structure like this, which is a class, what I'm actually doing is I'm creating a template, meaning that I'm creating a structure or an outline or a blueprint which will have an area or which will have a color, plus we can perform various operations like cleaning house and opening a door in the house. Now so far this is just a logical entity or a plan which does not occupy any memory in the space of Java. So I have already told you that a class can have attribute and methods. So basically attributes are state of an object. What is an object? I will explain in the next slide. But as you can see here, in this class, I have an attribute. So attribute tells something about that class. So for in this case, maybe what is the area of that particular house or a class, or for that matter, what is the color of the house, right? So that is called an attribute of a class or an object. And then methods are behavior or the functions or the operations, right? So you can perform actions or functions or operations like you can clean house, you can open door. So these two parts, which is the attributes and behaviors, they are part of a class or a template, as you can see here in the example. Now that we know what is a class, let us look at what is an object. So let us consider the following example. Objects are constructed house. They have physical existence in memory of Java, or they occupy space, and we create an object using new operator. So let us understand this with an example. Now let me go back here. Here in this example, when I said int a equal to 10, it means that a is a variable of type integer holding a value of 10, right? So now let me say my house equal to new of my house. So what does it do? It says house is a variable of type my house, which is a class here, holding a value of this, which is new my house with the circle bracket here. Let us understand this statement as in what happens internally. So to understand this, let me draw a small diagram. Let's say this is memory of your Java. I'll call it Java memory. All right. Now, when you execute this statement, as I told you, house is a variable of type my house holding this value. So what is new? New is an operator in Java. What does it do? It allocates memory. So when this line is executed, new will create an object of that class, which is my house. So till now this was logical entity or a template. Now when you say new of that, what happens? It will physically exist in the memory of Java. So if this circle was memory, a small dot will be created here, which is an instance or an object of my house, and house variable is pointing to that particular object. So basically what we have done is we have created a physical existence of a class which is called object in Java. And we have done that with the help of a new operator, as you can see. So what is a class? Class is a blueprint or a template. Initially, it does not occupy memory, as you can see in the Java, wherein once you create the instance of that particular class, you will see that an object is created here, and basically the variable will be pointing to that particular object. And this is also known as a reference to that particular object. Now let me go ahead and create one more house. So I will copy this and I'll paste it here, which is house 2. Now what happens in the memory of Java is there is one more house, which is house 2 to create it, and it points to a different instance or an object. Now let us see how we can use these instances or objects in our programming. So for that, what I'll do is I will create a system.out.println here. So let me copy this and I'll put it here, and I'll simply say clean house. clean house, and here I will say open door. Now what I can do is with house, I'll say house dot area, I'll say equal to 100. Now what is this dot? Dot is an operator. What does it do? It helps you access the attributes within this instance or an object, and also call the method. So first let us finish with attributes. So I'm saying area of this house is 100 and house dot color equal to, let's say, blue. And then what I will do is I will say house dot clean house, right? So as a result of these statements, what is exactly happening is, let me copy this and take it to my drawing board. So for now, I will delete this and let me put here. Now what has happened in this particular object, which is house one. So we have this house one and this is house two, right? Now I have actually used house, this one, the first one, and given the area value 100 and color value blue and call the clean house. So for this particular house that has been created, its corresponding attribute, which is a area here, will hold a value of 100, and the other one, which is color, will hold a value blue, right? And then when you call the clean method, we are calling clean method on this particular object. So this is completely a different object in itself, and any change you make here does not impact the other object. So let me go back to the code here and let me do the same thing for my second object as well. So I'll make it house 2, 2 and 2, and here I'll make 150 and I'll make this green, for example. So now what is happening for the second object here, the value of area is, as you can see, 150, 150 and color is green, right? And then on that object you're calling clean house. So these are two different instances of a class which are available in the memory of Java. What does it mean? It means that the class which was my house is now having physical existence in the memory, and you can access or reference them meaning the objects, with the house reference, or the second one with the house to reference. So this is the concept of classes and objects in core Java programming. So I hope that the concept of classes and objects is clear to all of you. That's all in this video. I hope you enjoyed this session. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and leave your comment in the comment section below. Thank you.